Hey everybody, welcome to the Hoopercast. You're entering the final phase of the hiatus. It might be a good time for you to go back and watch the back catalog if you want, or don't. You got other stuff to do, that's cool. A little distance is healthy. This is the Ironheart episode. I watched this show God knows how long ago. So I've got some thoughts on Ironheart. It is not a show that blew my socks off. It wasn't nothing either. You know what I mean? It's just, I got mixed feelings about the Marvel shows, man. There's a couple of them that are like, oh, that's really good. And then most of them are like, I don't know. And this probably goes in the middle where it's fine. It just depends on what you want out of Marvel. So anyway, here is the review of Ironheart. We got time tonight for one more little thing. Let's talk about Ironheart.
Sweet. I'm very curious.
Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable. Something
Important?
iconic.
It's a brand new.
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision. But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew.
I could chew a lot.
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that.
I don't know when this is certainly going to be released after Fantastic Four. And at the time we're recording this, we haven't even released the Daredevil episode. So, all right. So Ironheart is a Disney Plus miniseries. It was created by Chinaka Hodge, starring Dominic Thorne returning as Riri Williams. We've also got Lyric Ross. God, there's a lot of people in this freaking show. But the main people are Dominic Thorne, Anthony Ramos, Alden Ehrenreich is in this show. Couple people I shouldn't spoil, and Cree Summer is in this too. Yeah, sure.
Oh, sweet.
Anyway, so this is after the events of Black Panther 2. We got Riri Williams going back to Chicago, which is home for her, and she kind of gets involved in activities with a character called the Hood, who is a comic book character, and things happen. So once again, I can't really tell you the premise or not going too far into it. So Ironheart. So I went into the show without many expectations. I think I said in the Wakanda Forever review that I'm kind of half and half on Dominic Thorne as Riri Williams. I think that she is a great actress. I think that stuff that they're giving her with as that character is, I don't know, sometimes it's just silly and sometimes it's like really profound and good. And that's where her skill set is. I just don't know if she's anyway. So the big thing coming into this for me, I kept thinking like, I thought the CG of the suit would look cheap because she's obviously going to do like, iron suit things in this. But it doesn't look cheap.
Okay.
It doesn't come off cheap. I thought the writing would be a little stilted. And it is. And like I said, I think she is uneven as Riri. There's times where she's real and raw and the show just kind of clicks and the characters really click. And then there's some scenes that are just really stilted and crowbarred that just feel like oh, like that dialogue doesn't fit in this world, or there's a better way to say that, or something. But like I said, there are times where it's just like, oh, the writing in this scene is actually really good and very, the dialogue is very natural, and it's not a bunch of people, like the exposition, like these are a bunch of characters who live in Chicago and who are varying degrees of poor. Like that is seeped into the writing where they feel like real people talking in a lot of scenes. And then some scenes you're like, oh, this is a show and this is, science fiction-y stuff. And just anything that feels like, anything that's so deep in feelings that it's like, I just can't shake the feeling that I messed up real bad or something. And it's just like, God, there's just better ways to do this. I don't know. It's just there, you know what I mean? It's uneven. And it's like the show is a representation in that sense of Dominique Thorne's performance. It's like, sometimes it's really great. And sometimes it's just like, why did they cast you? But then I go and I read and I find out that like, I think she was the only person considered. Like, I don't even know if she auditioned.
Wow.
And so the troll in me is like, well, obviously, but it's like, no, she's a good choice. It's just, I think when the material is mature, it works for her. And then when the material is kind of more toward the kids or for the general audience, it kind of defangs her performance maybe.
Sure.
So it's just like, as with most of the MCU shows, it's not going to feel the way a film would. But this show does do some very interesting stuff toward the end that I was into. Considering the short run time of the series, it's only 6 episodes. Disney Plus released this in halves, basically. It was 3, and then the next week it was the other 3. They keep changing it up, man, keeping us guessing.
Yeah, who knows?
Never let them know your next move.
Right, exactly.
So considering it's only 6 episodes of 45-minute runtime, I think that stuff, that homework, it is homework. But in this case, it's worth it. It's not a big time investment, and it's for what it's worth. The show does feel very fresh and very different from most of these shows. Most of these shows are characters we've met before, genres we've met before, like we've seen before. And this is kind of like a character who starts the series like kind of getting into a life of crime because she needs money so she can build this suit. But she's also dealing with like baggage from this tragedy that happened in her past. And she's seeing a lot of people that she, used to know because she's got kicked out of MIT and she's back home. And so there's stuff with her mom. And so there's good drama here, and there's good sci-fi here that's fun. And there's some interesting stuff for world building and for broader MCU stuff. And like I said, especially at the end in the last couple of episodes, there's a character that's introduced that's very interesting for broader stuff. And I think that the casting of this character is very good. And I think that the performance of the character is very good. And I don't want to say who it is for people who haven't seen the show, but yeah, I'm into it in that sense. So, this is like a push you over the fence kind of thing. If you were thinking of it, check it out. It's not like, Echo or, some of these other things. It's like, okay, that's nice, but like, I'm not seeing why I should see this other than the fact that it's probably going to come up later. Yeah. And so there's that. But so, like I said, this is homework. It's not like, wow, like check this out no matter what. It's homework, but it's not boring homework.
Sure.
It's less than 6 hours of homework. Which I suppose is high praise these days.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, some cool stuff. And cool characters. Just different, a real different cast. And again, like it could just be that all of these actors are Black or Hispanic. It could just be that casting alone lends a freshness to the storytelling, the performances, and the writing that's just less boring to watch than a bunch of white people talking about science.
Sure.
It could be that alone gives it that freshness. Maybe it's because it's in Chicago, and not like fucking New York or Los Angeles, you know, it just has a different feel, and and it's good, you know.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't know.
Just sounds like a light recommend.
Yeah, light recommendation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you got Disney Plus and you're trying to keep up with stuff, you know, at this point,
it's already there.
We put this out. We've got past the Fantastic Four, and so it's like, you know, if you really want to wind up to, you know, the end of the multiverse saga, like, you know, you may as well. And
sure,
we could tell that this was recorded way in the past, but I want to talk about this interview Kevin Feige did whenever we do talk about Fantastic Four, because it talks about essentially the rest of the phase and other things he said that are nice and definitive and interesting to talk about. So,
okay.
But I'll say that for people who have hopefully already heard that episode, the fact that we are kind of pulling back on TV shows and winding towards like the end of like this chronicle of the Marvel universe, it's like, you know, if you've come this far, why not? You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Basically, like, there's no rush, but yeah, check it out, you know.
Sweet.
As long as, like with anything else, you look at this as one comic book run in a sea of comic stories that often intersect. As long as you have the proper headspace, you won't be disappointed.
Sure.
That this is not something that it isn't. It's another Marvel story. And it's hard to review because they kind of become a big mush of things.
Sure.
And it's like,
sure.
Yes, I generally recommend all of them. So this is included in there.
Cool. Sweet.
Bite me. Great. Okay.